The boss in front of him made in a day what others make in a lifetime, because his family's food was just too delicious. The aroma of the food was so strong that it wafted for miles around. Just then, a man who had been asleep for 1,000 years was awakened by a whiff of the fragrance. So, the man followed the scent and arrived in front of the restaurant. He walked in and saw that the place was bustling with customers. He found an empty table and sat down. Soon, the boss came over to take his order. The man ordered a bowl of beef noodles. After a short wait, the boss brought him a bowl of steaming beef noodles. To his delight, the broth was a beautiful golden color and smelled absolutely wonderful. The man took a sniff and realized it was the same fragrance that had drifted into the temple earlier. He began to eat with great enthusiasm, taking big bites. But then, suddenly, he felt something stuck in his teeth. To his surprise, he pulled out a tiny boot. He looked at the boss angrily and saw that the boss had gone into the kitchen. The man thought the boss looked suspicious, so he quietly followed him. He peeked through the crack in the door and saw something amazing. The boss stood in front of the stove and waved his hands. The pots, bowls, and utensils all came to life and started moving around in an orderly fashion. But the boss was impatient with their slow pace and his face turned fierce. Under the boss's stern gaze, the kitchen knife was frantically chopping the vegetables on the cutting board. Just as the knife wanted to take a break, the boss ordered it to keep working. Nearby, several kettles jumped onto hooks and began to boil water automatically. Once the water boiled, the teacups lined up and waited for the teapot to pour water into them. Even more incredible, the rice cooker sprayed out a big flame to cook itself. After the plates lined up and put the chopped vegetables into the pot, the boss waved his fingers again and the spoons started to move. Then, the utensils lined up and began to serve the dishes outside. But suddenly, one of the pots couldn't move because it was too tired. The pork rib soup inside spilled all over the floor. The boss immediately threw it into the trash. The man noticed that there was a pile of discarded pots and utensils there. He blew into the kitchen, and in an instant, a talisman stuck to the boss's back. Just as the talisman was about to suck the boss in, the boss grabbed the edge of the table desperately. To everyone's surprise, the pots and utensils, which had long been oppressed, attacked the boss's hand. In the end, the boss couldn't hold on and was sucked into the talisman. At that moment, the pair of shoes also fell onto the talisman. It turned out that the owner of the shoes was actually a mortar and pestle. Finally, all the oppressed kitchen utensils were freed, and the unscrupulous boss got the punishment he deserved.